Have you ever had a marketing campaign that was just absolutely crushing it, and then almost overnight it dies? We're going to talk about the offer maturity curve, which is all about why great marketing campaigns fail, and more importantly, how you can save them. Just think about that for a second. The campaigns that were literally printing money, the ones that felt unstoppable, they just stop working. And the crazy part is, it's usually not a new competitor or some big algorithm change. Nope, it's something internal, something predictable. It's a structural collapse that's happening right under your nose. So, that's the big question we're tackling in this explainer. What is this invisible curve that decides the fate of your offer? And what are the exact steps you need to take to get ahead of it? Before it's too late. We're not just going to diagnose the problem, we're going to give you the playbook to fix it. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at this predictable collapse and what it really means. Then, I'll introduce you to the maturity curve itself, our main tool. We'll dive into the psychology behind why this decay even happens. After that, it's all about strategy, pivoting your sales story, and we'll wrap up with a simple 3-step action plan and talk about how to really engineer long-term success for your offers. All right, let's start with that collapse. It often feels like it comes out of nowhere, right? But it's not a surprise at all. It's a pattern, and once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it. We often blame ad fatigue, but that's just a symptom of a much deeper, invisible force at play. And here we get to the great paradox of any winning offer. Your success actually plants the seeds of its own destruction. Think about it. The better you do, the more people see your stuff. Your competitors start copying your angles, your messaging, everything. And at the exact same time, your own audience they get used to it. That novelty that made it so powerful in the first place just starts to fade. It's not a failure on your part, it's just a natural law of the market. And you can see this decay written right there in your metrics. I mean, look at this. In Q1, when the offer is fresh, your conversion rates are through the roof. By Q2, things are still okay, but you can feel it softening. Then boom, Q3 hits, and you see a major drop. This isn't random. This is the maturity curve in action, physically pulling your conversions down as your message gets saturated.
Okay, so if we know this collapse is coming, how the heck do we predict it? Well, we need the right tool. And what we're going to do is take a classic idea, the product lifecycle, and apply it not to your product, but to your message. And that distinction is absolutely crucial.
So what is this offer maturity curve? Think of it like a strategic map for your offer's entire life. But it's not just a map of the past, it's predictive. It tells you what's coming around the corner, and most importantly, it flashes a big warning sign when it's time to change your story before everything falls apart. Every single offer moves through these 4 stages. First, you've got introduction. Everything's new and exciting. Then comes growth, where you're scaling up and building social proof. Stage 3, maturity, is the really critical one. This is where things flatten out. And if you do nothing, you slide right into stage 4, decline. Just knowing where you are on this timeline is the first step to taking back control.
But to really get this, we have to go a layer deeper. Why does this even happen?
The answer isn't in your spreadsheet, it's in our heads. It's all about human psychology. The decay of your offer is powered by predictable ways our brains process information. Buyer indifference isn't a possibility, it's an inevitability. The first big reason is something called diminished novelty. Our brains are hardwired to notice what's new and different. It's a survival thing. So when your offer first hits, it grabs attention and you get that awesome spike in conversions. But after people see it over and over, their brains just learn to filter it out. It becomes background noise. This is the real engine behind ad fatigue. So how do you fight a brain that's literally programmed to ignore you? Well, you don't. You change the game. This is where the idea of a psychological anchor comes in. The first time someone sees your offer, their brain sets an anchor for its value. But as the novelty wears off, that anchor loses its grip. The only solution is to reposition your entire story. By changing the narrative, you create a new anchor, forcing their brain to reevaluate what you're offering from a fresh perspective. And that leads us right into the core strategy. If we need a new anchor, how do we build it? We pivot the sales narrative. This is where we go from theory to action. It's about making a fundamental shift in what you're talking about, moving from the what to the how. This chart maps it out perfectly. In the introduction stage, you lead with the big, juicy benefit. Get this amazing result. During growth,
You pour on the social proof. See, everyone else is getting this amazing result. But look what happens at maturity. This is the pivot. You have to stop yelling about the benefit and start explaining the mechanism. Here is the unique way we get you that result. And if you start to decline, the story shifts again to identity. Become the kind of person who achieves this.
Let's make this totally crystal clear. Your early stage message is all about what you get. It's the destination. But once you hit maturity, your audience has heard that promise 1,000 times. They're skeptical now. They need more. Your new message has to shift to how it works. You're selling your unique process, your proprietary system, your secret sauce. This shift is the single most powerful, highest leverage move you can make.
Okay, I know this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you master this pivot in the real world? Well, that brings us to our simple, actionable framework, a 3-step plan you can start using right away. The process is super straightforward. Step 1, diagnose. You have to use data to figure out exactly where your offer is on the curve. No guessing allowed. Step 2, plan the pivot. Based on that stage, you map out your new story, whether it's shifting to the mechanism or to identity. And finally, step 3, A/B test. You must prove that your new story actually works and lifts conversions. Now for step 1, your diagnosis comes down to one key metric, the conversion rate decay rate, or CRDR. It's just a month-over-month drop in your conversion rate. When you see that number trending down consistently, that's your alarm bell. That's the data telling you you've hit the maturity threshold. A narrative pivot is no longer a nice to have. It's a must-do.
And please, don't skip step 3. It is absolutely non-negotiable. The whole point of your A/B test is to get proof. Did the shift from benefit to mechanism actually work? You need to see a real, statistically significant lift in your converting rate. That number is your proof that you've successfully created a new psychological anchor and reset your offer's value.
So let's bring this all home. When you mastered this system, what have you really done? You've gone from being a reactive marketer, always putting out fires, to being an architect. You are now engineering the longevity of your offer. And honestly, this is the highest ROI activity you can possibly focus on. Why? Because it is always cheaper and faster to change the story than it is to change the product. This right here is the central idea. We all think a great product is enough, but it's not. A great product with a stale message will always fail. Longevity isn't something your product has. It's something you build into the story you tell about it. At the end of the day, the offer maturity curve isn't just a cool theory. It's a system to protect your bottom line. By spotting the decay before it gets out of hand and proactively shifting your story, you short-circuit our brain's natural tendency to get bored. You don't just slow down the decline, you hit the reset button on the entire curve. And we'll leave it with this thought. You can have the best funnel, the best ads, the best targeting in the world, but if your audience has tuned you out, none of it matters. The best marketing isn't just about finding an audience. It's about knowing how to keep their attention by evolving the story. It's about knowing exactly when and how to change the story when you realize people have stopped listening.